Welcome back to my Legends Expanded Universe chronological timeline order, where I go through the expanded universe according to my personal timeline order and rank each and every individual piece of media on a 10-point scale. And I forgot one. I was flipping through this source book, Edge of the Empire, Lords of Nalhutta, when I noticed a story set in the ancient primal times of Star Wars, and I was like, oh shoot, I missed another one. So this is 2.75, and the short story is called The Followers of Quay, and it was written by Max Brook and published in 2015 by Fantasy Flight Games. It's a short story, and it takes place in approximately 100,000 BBY. It can be found on page 74. This is the short story here, in this bottom gray paragraph here. And this short story details the creation of the Quay by their deity. It explains that in the beginning there was a father and a mother god to the Quay species. The father was called Sri Queva, and the mother was called Quay. And Sri Quava created all this life for himself, but Quay was lonely, and so she created the Quay species, essentially. And one of those was a great warrior named Lur. And Queva, the father, was jealous of Quay's creation, so he created his own creation named Queva. And Queva was this like warrior priestess who controlled the powers of fire. And so Queva, the father, and Quay, the mother, sent their champions Lur and Queva into battle against each other, and they battled for thousands of years according to the sort of semi-mythological material there, and eventually Queva was able to kill Lur. So the species created by the warrior created by the father was able to get the upper hand against the warrior created by the mother. And so as Lur lay dying, he called out to the mother god, and they conjured up the brave great god Quay to come and save them. And so Quay teams up with all these other gods of the Weekways, and they defeat Queva, the warrior from the father, and the legend is that to this day they watch over her in her prison. I think this is a really fun little short story. I think the mythology here is really fun. It's great deep lore, and I really like learning more about the primal, earliest parts of the history of the galaxy, especially about the Weequay. Cool. That's really interesting to learn about, how they believe that they came into being. It's very interesting indeed. Similar to with the creation according to the Cyruk story, which is really just fascinating to me because it's really deep lore. So this is a good story. Does it add a lot? Not a lot, but it's fun, in-depth storytelling that's like a deep narrative early in the Star Wars universe. So I would give this one a 3 of 10. It's a fine, good story. It's written really well. I enjoy it. It's only like 4 paragraphs, but it's fun reading, and it reminds me of some Greek mythology that I've read as well. So it's quite fun. I do enjoy a lot of the elements here. And not necessarily did the events actually happen in this story or in the previous story I reviewed, The Creation According to the Cyruk. Their takes on what happened to how their species came into being aren't necessarily what did happen, but they're not necessarily what didn't happen either. They're legends. They're based on myth. So there's probably some truth to these traditions and this story here. some of it could have happened, but it didn't necessarily happen. Maybe Star Wars Supernatural Encounters will go into more detail on what exactly happened in this story, and did what is depicted as happening actually happen. It could be an interesting connection in there, so we'll see if Supernatural Encounters goes into that. But overall, this is a great story. I'm really glad I was able to find it earlier today and not miss it, because I would have been disappointed if I'd missed this fun little story here. If you want the story read for you, the great Marcel Ryan the Revanchist already, in several hours' notice, already has a reading of the entire story up on YouTube. So the link in the description will take you to the reading of that short story, and you can get to hear him read this story, and the music he uses is great, and he pronounces all the names of the Quay gods much better than I could. So go over there and then come back here and tell me, what did you think of The Followers of Quay? It's certainly an obscure short story.